daughter and creating a family. It was a different phase, and that happened for me in 2000. And as a subsequent, I've never really looked back since then on. I've only looked forward because I've got my kids and my family and a network that make me want to get out of bed each day, for all the right reasons.
I mean, for me, when that, how do you gauge success? For me, success today is staying clean and being of service and being kind to myself. If I go to bed knowing that I've been self-loving, that's success.
Mm.
My career and whatever else I do is my job. And don't get me wrong, I love what I do more than anything in the world because it's what I was born to do. I truly believe. Yeah. But success today is about if I got through the day when I've not been self-loathing, or I've got through the day and I've been kind to myself, which means I'm enabled to be kind to other people. That's success. And I just think we in our careers, especially in the music industry and stuff like that, we're only as good as our last gig. So that's what people think, and that's what people say to you. And that's so not true.
You've got a passion. I've got a passion. And that as long as you never. I say to my daughter, who is currently in Australia doing Neighbours, just keep your focus.
Is she in Neighbours?
Yeah, she's now in Neighbours now, which is sort of a full circle. But I guess also for me, mate, at one point, the irony about my career is that, particularly in those Neighbours days when, and that sort of Kylie and Jason and then Stockache and Waterman, I never thought I was cool, But there's no such thing as being cool.
Yeah,
and it takes a life journey to realise that is bullshit, Cool, being yourself and holding yourself tall, and surviving the ups and downs, and it's just about staying true to yourself, I suppose. I still question a lot of decisions I've made, and I don't regret because I think it's a wasted emotion, regret. There's been some things I would have liked to have done differently, but I now know in my life, particularly, having, as I said, I went out in about 1994 and came home in about 2000.
Yeah.
I really honestly now know what I don't want to do, and that's powerful. That's really powerful.
It. That's the magic. That is the magic.
Yeah.
It's that when we get to that moment of knowing what we can and can't do. People say to me all the time, "Oh, if you could go back, what would you change?" And there's tiny bits of things that I would change. In hindsight, none of it. My life was hell for 28 years, but I wouldn't change it because that's made me who I am today, and I wouldn't want to make those mistakes again. I've made them. Do you know what I mean?
I'd like better teeth.
I got better teeth.
I know. I can see.
Anything's doable.
The problem with this interview, Tony, is unfortunately we're doing this in late November, and normally, one of my great loves in the world is the sun and vitamin D, and we're all sort of seeing that at the moment, how important that is to not just our energy and our health. And I have vitamin D supplements, but no matter how hard I try, as if I have a little bit of sun on my face, the teeth always look better.
Always, that.
Always.
I am such, the biggest thing about the whole lockdown thing was coming out of lockdown and being able to go back on a sunbed. Even when I've been addicted to sunbeds for God knows how long.
Yeah, you got to be careful there.
I know I am. Yeah, but got to be careful crossing the road. That's the way I look at it.
Of course.
And the amount of people that go frown on it, the fact that I use sunbeds. But you know what? It's a really good source of getting vitamin D. Even with fake vitamin D, that's enough for me some days. Do you know what I mean? But it's all about me. I think the more I lay in the sun, I just feel more energized from those natural resources. Whereas
Mm.
before 28 years, I didn't go in the sun.
Yeah.
I spent my life in
Really?
flats and
Right.
every piss-stained alleyway. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
to avoid
Sure.
the sunlight.
Yeah, no, I was the opposite, the absolute opposite. I could cover a lot up by a suntan, you know,
Yeah.
and highlights in the hair, and you know some decent clothes, and you can get back out there and you know go for it again, you know. And as an Australian, you know, salt water and you know an outdoor lifestyle, you know, I talked about my dad before, and you know, my father is, as I said, he's in his 80s now. He's still swimming. He still, you know, does 30 or 40 laps, and you know, he's 85. And I, there's a lot of things sometimes I question about him,
Does
but
he
at the
still
same
drink?
time, sorry.
Does he still drink?
He loves a drink. He loves a drink. And do you know what? He loves a drink, and you know, that can always, my dad's very honest, you know, and that can be confronting for a lot of people. Unfortunately, we know with alcohol, it promotes honesty and you know, and I think anything, you know, as long as it's sort of in a balance, is okay. It's when you know, the body starts to get used to something and wants to get to point B before they've even, you know, just taken off from point A, you know. So, but, you know, I don't see him enough to, you know, that's never really a confrontation, you know, aspect to our relationship anymore. You know, as I said, I now, you know, I love a drink. I absolutely adore, you know, I adore a drink, but I also, you know, love the fact that during the week I can sort of focus on work, and on the weekend, you know, open a bottle of wine and have a
You're in a
good
very
few
lucky.
days.
You're in a very lucky position to
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah,
For me, uh, I can't. I
yeah.
can't.
I
I'm
know. I
wondering.
understand.
I'll be gone from till next 2021, Christmas 2021, if I was to have a drink tomorrow. You know, because I don't have a stop button, and a lot of people who go through what they go through, uh, you know, they can suddenly develop a little problem in a different area. Doesn't make them an addict, and it doesn't make them, you know. Whereas I know I'm an addict. It's
Mm,
been proven on every, from food to sex to alcohol to drugs.
mm,
I have a
mm.
problem with bloody everything. So
Right,
I have to
right.
avoid everything like the plague, and I have to do everything I do in limits. Otherwise, I can go into flow, whether it be sushi or whether it be training in Battersea Park. You
Yeah,
know,
sure.
as soon as I get that moment of high,
Yeah,
that
extreme.
I love this, I'm off and running.
Yeah,
Like you when
sure.
you're biking, do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's just that
yeah,
feel good feeling, and when you come home, you think, I love that. And of course, 20 minutes later, I want it again.
yeah,
I'm not
sure.
like normal people, and I have to remember that. You
Sure.
know,
I mean, I think we're all a little bit like that, but I think some people can temper it more than others. You know, and I've noticed particularly with you, you focus it into your work a lot now,
yeah,
which is you know, which is the right place to be. You know, I mean, again, for me, you know, I've I've always been challenged by. I've never been a natural performer, even though some people might question that. I still have anxiety about performance, and I still worry about as it, you know, but I have an absolute. It's a drug performing for me. That is an adrenaline rush. So if I'm learning a script, and you know, hey, I ain't, you know, Liam Gallagher from Oasis, you know, singing out there. But what I do is, you know, is very challenging. Whether it's Chicago this year, or Joseph last year, or you know, Dancing on Ice, which I'm doing at the moment. I absolutely, my world gets encompassed by
we
what
go,
I'm
we
doing,
go
and
into
I
flow.
don't need anything else.
No, because that's it. You go into flow.
Yeah,
As I say, if I have sushi on Monday and it's delicious, I'll have it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, regardless of any
yeah,
other food being on the planet. I go into flow with it. Anything that I get roasted becomes flow, and I can't see out of that. So
yeah,
that can be good things, and it can also